Okay, welcome back to the next video in my series on World Chess Championship blunders. We've moved on 6 years now to the match between Alekhine and Capablanca. Capablanca had been the champion since 1921 when he beat Alaska, and various people were trying to raise the money, $10,000 I believe, to organize a match against Capablanca. Alekhine was able to do that in 1927. Now, this might be the first match we really think about in terms of blunders being a big determinant of what happened in the end. Capablanca was expected to win relatively comfortably, right? He had a very, very strong plus score against Alekhine, and I mean, you go back to 1921, he had his amazing streak of not losing in a whole calendar year and so on, and but that's not what happened. And people thought, well, maybe Capablanca took it too easy, maybe a little bit older, and he was making a number of mistakes. So whether it was just a combination of things or these actual blunders we can look at, in the end the score was 6-3 to Alekhine, which was probably a bit flattering to him. So let's go on to, we're going to look at 3 blunders today in game 1, game 11, and game 27. So let's go to our normal capture screen, and you can see there the profile. So this was a first to 6 wins. We'll come across that again in later World Championship matches. And so look at the bottom 2 lines. Alekhine is blue and Capablanca is red. And you can see it was fairly tight. And you can see, obviously, Capablanca got off to a very bad start, losing the first game because of a blunder. That doesn't help. Game 11, once again, sort of helped Alekhine get back into the score on the match. And then finally, game 27, which was drawn, Capablanca was winning that game easily, and you can imagine having an extra tick up, he would have got back to Alekhine, and would have been game on or match on. So let's sort of see how it went during the match. So let's have a look at these games very quickly now. Now this is game 1, and there's a blunder on. You can see there's a bigger blunder later on in the game. We're actually going to look at the earlier blunder. On move 15, black has just played queen f5, and then queen f5 to show that, and then now Capablanca blundered. Now this doesn't even show up as a blunder because this is like only I say a two pawn blunder in a sense, so it doesn't really show up in my filters, but this sort of set the tone, and it gradually through this game, Capablanca lost the plot a little bit and lost the game. Although, as you can see, it much later moved 30 to 40 when it actually all fell apart for him. So this could be viewed as a little tactical study. Please take a look and see what the problem with the rook AC1 is. Okay, so the problem is we have some issues here of back rank weaknesses. And you just look at the progression here. The bishops protecting the knight, the rook's protecting the bishop. At the moment, that rook is protecting that rook, but the rook on e8 might be sort of x-raying the rook on e1, and that's what we're going to see that happened. So that Alekhine just took the pawn on c2. And there's not a lot to be done here. If white put back with the queens would be exchanged and the knight would drop. So Capablanca decided that it's better to keep queens on the board. So he played rook takes c2, and then black just took the knight with the queen. So let's drop the pawn, and now the game goes on. Now, what I suggest you do with this is that Daniel King on his Power Play Chess channel has done this game in full. So including that blunder and the later blunders, obviously the marquee first game of the match, and Capablanca lost it when he was expected to be winning the match easily. So that was quite a shock. So Daniel King has said he's done a video on that. Well worth watching. So now what I'm going to move across to is game 11. Now, partly why I'm showing this is this was a comedy of errors. I think that's what it was described as at the end. You can see that it really, there was quite a lot of stuff going on. What I'm going to focus on, go down to these moves at the end. I've just gone to this position where white has just played rook e2, and now black should play queen h1. I'll show black should play. I'm not going to set this as tactical study. Queen h1 check. Rook must interpose, and the key here is now the rook is out of play, and then now black can move back to b7, and it's too late. Black's been able to organize the defense of the very advanced b pawn, and can then pick up the a pawn and have a winning position. So black didn't do that. Black played queen f1 check, and there is a drawing line here. King h2. That's what was played. King h2 is correct. Black grabs the f pawn, right? And this is the blunder I want to look at, right? Capablanca pushed his pawn, and he shouldn't have done that. What Capablanca should have done is the line is just pick up this b pawn. Pick up that pawn, and the line given by the computer is just let's just pick up this pawn, right? And actually black can take that pawn and take the rook and take the rook, but this is given as a draw. So that's what Capablanca should have done. He was given the opportunity. This is actually, if you look at this move after move 50, where Alekhine was actually kind of winning, but you can see these spikes back to equality, and white had a chance to save the game, mainly centered around two opportunities to pick up the c pawn, the advanced c pawn, and that would have been a draw. I mean, obviously still a lot of play in this game, but should be a draw. So that was game 11, and then now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the main game, which we'll have a look at. Close that. We're up to game 27 now. Right, so this is, you know, if Capablanca had have won this game, would have been pretty even, basically, once again. So that's why it is such a critical game. Now you can see what happened. Capablanca was just totally winning, +5, +5, +5, and then one move blew it all, allowed a perpetual check, and so that would have been heartbreaking. So what we're doing here is going to go through a couple of lines. This is covered by Kasparov in his book My Great Predecessors. He covers the whole game, and then he gives 2 lines for what happened here. Now I think it's worth pointing out there's a key square. Let's see if I can bring that up. Right there, key square there. And the point is that if black can check on that square, when the black king's trying to move to h2, then the black queen will be able to check on h5 and then pick up the rook, right? So if the black queen has access to that square in that sort of checking position, then he can get a draw. So we're going to look at is what Capablanca played was a mistake. So he played king f2, and that gives black the access to the square he needs. And his queen d2 check was played, and then that was the end of the game. They agreed to a draw, and I mean a typical continuation would be these lines are from Kasparov. For instance, king g1. G1's the line Kasparov gives, and then now just check. I said can't go in the corner because of this killer check here, so it just has to go back. And then, I mean, the other possibility is to go to king f3, and then you know, like checks down there, right, and then you force back, right. So the perpetual check. Now the line which should have been played was, go back here, should play king e2, and let's see what the difference is. Queen takes b2 check, pick up a pawn, king f3, threatening to run through there, so got to give a check, queen b3 check, back to king f2. Notice that there's no check on d1 check, so now can't check on c2 because the queen's covering it, so you got to go to b2 check, and then now you just continue into the corner, right? There's no killer check, and now you hide in the corner, and because the king and the queen had combined to keep the queen, stop access to that square. Now king's safe, and you know, a discovered check is threatened, obviously. And if the king moves back to h8, then rook takes h6 check is not pretty either, right? So that was a real lost opportunity for Capablanca, and so I think this ended up. I ended up ranking this a sort of 4 stars of error, simply because of the impact that it had on the match, whichever way you look at it. So let's have a quick look at the Excel. I've redone it, and you can see that there's the 2 Capablanca blunders are there. So you look at it; he's lost a couple of points in blunders, right? So obviously 6-3 could have been 5-all, could have been some score like that, and actually 5-all would have been enough, because I believe that was he would retain the title on those circumstances. So a bit of a sort of a tragedy for Capablanca in some ways, and then he was never able to raise the money for a rematch with Alekhine. People sort of kind of view that Alekhine dodged a rematch, and then so that's the last we'll see of Capablanca in the World Chess Championships. The next matches Alekhine plays against Bogolyubov and then Irv. We'll get onto those matches in the following videos. Thank you very much for watching.